Morning. I am in Geneva right now. As you can see, Lake Geneva. It's really nice. Getting a coffee. And I was on a plane yesterday, and I was getting mad. I was getting fucking mad at the number of sissies there are in Bitcoin right now. You know, when I first started buying Bitcoin, in my mind, I was late. And I was buying it at, let's say, $5,000 a coin. And then I pivoted my entire gold position. And then, obviously, Bitcoin went from, let's say, 5,000 average entry to 64. And then back down to 32. And then back up to 69. And then back down to 15.5. And in this time period, you learn what it means to become a hodler. And it's cold as fuck, by the way. Considering I was in Dubai yesterday, it's cold as hell. So, you know, and now we've got less than a 30% dip. 30% dips happen all the time. And you've got people absolutely shitting themselves. And what I've realized is it's not really the dip. It's not the percentage, because most normal people don't think in percentages. And if you're scared, I guarantee you what's happening is that the big numbers are scaring you. It's nothing to do with the percentage. And the other thing I want to remind you is this is a broad market sell-off. Everything's selling off, right? You've got uncertainty coming out of the White House. You've got the president U-turning on tariffs. Apparently beef is too expensive, so he's turned the tariffs around. Like, there's just so much uncertainty. And yes, the government shutdown has finished, but it takes a few days for the capital money to start flowing. So what we've got here is basically everyone's scared of the big numbers. Because if I told you that Bitcoin went from 10,000 to 5,000, you'd be like, all right, no problem. That's okay. And that's a bigger dip. That's a 50% dip. That's a bigger dip than what we're facing right now. So I think that psychologically, you have this in all aspects, right? There's people that can do like one property deal, right? They can get one apartment, but they can't get 1,000 apartments. You get people that can manage, you know, let's say $100,000, but they can't manage $10 million. And I think that's really what's going on. The fluctuation amount, the dollar amount, is too big for a lot of people to handle. And so, you know, they're shitting themselves, and they're all over Twitter. And then there's the group of people that have basically sold a bunch of their Bitcoin and decided to, you know, put 50% of their net worth during the summer into basically a bag of shit known as a Bitcoin treasury company. And now they are obviously, you know, they promised you higher leverage to Bitcoin, and they're giving you higher leverage to Bitcoin. MSTR is down 50%, while Bitcoin's only down 23%, something like that. So, like, this is, it should be expected. You're a fucking Bitcoiner. Volatility is part of it. And just because we've had a whole year, literally this whole year has been boring. It's been boring as fuck because there's been no volatility. And now you're getting volatility and you're mad and you're upset and you're going on Twitter and you're being a sissy. And so that's why I've been saying, like, I think we're still going to $340,000 a high of this cycle. I'm going to be called stupid if we don't get there. And let's say this is the top, and then you're going to write it down, and then we're going to write it up. But remember, markets are very reflective. So what that means is that if we haven't seen a parabolic blow off top, we're not going to see a bear market low of like 80 to 90%. This is not going to happen. That's not how markets work. And now you've got the president involved, Larry Fink involved. You've got Wall Street involved. You've got everyone educating everyone. You've got JP fucking Morgan coming out and saying that they have a price target of 170. When the fuck did JP Morgan become more bullish than Bitcoin sissies? When was that a reality? That wasn't on my bingo card for this year. That JP Morgan would turn around, basically become bullish on Bitcoin. And then not only that, actually become more bullish than Bitcoiners on Bitcoin. You got Bitcoiners coming out here saying we've got a cycle, you know, cycle's over because it's 18 months past the halving. What type of bullshit are you talking about? You've basically had interest rates tightening until, 2 months ago. You got no liquidity in the market. You had a government shutdown. There's been no money printing going on. No liquidity injections from anywhere. And we're talking about the top being in because it's 18 months from the halving. Just now, you're starting to see liquidity ease into the markets. And it's going to take a little bit of time for that to happen. So it looks like we're going to stretch into 2026. I do think we're going to see some kind of top, and I do think it's going to be, violent, because we're entering the point in the cycle now where basically, all of the Bitcoin sissies are going to sit on the sidelines. They've either been sold out because they think it's a top, or they've been liquidated out because they're trading and they're idiots. And now you're going to see the period of cycle where Bitcoin starts to reverse to the upside. This is what I think. Bitcoin's going to start to reverse. Everyone's going to be, oh no, this isn't it. The top was already in. This is a dead cat bounce, blah, blah, blah. It's going to make new all-time highs and accelerate. Eventually, those people are going to yield. Retail, like the dumbasses they are going to come in much later. And as retail comes in, you're going to see a blow-off top. I think that blow-off top is going to be in the region of 340,000. And then I think you're going to see, a sizable correction, maybe tail end of 2026 or something like that. But there is no rational reason why anything has to finish in 2025, besides 3 data points, which is the previous cycles. And it's just because that's happened doesn't mean it has to happen, especially when you got all this liquidity, the president, Wall Street, everyone else getting involved in Bitcoin. Now, some people, are calling me and everyone else that believes that Bitcoin is not dead for the 75,000th time, delusional bulls, and I completely understand that. It's hard to be amongst people that have bulls when you're reaching down and you feel nothing. Completely understand that. So, look, it is what it is. Get the fuck off of social media. Stop consuming this bullshit. You know what's fascinating is, like, 70% of the comments that happen on social media, even my social media, are bots. Like, I'm looking at the profiles, I'm like, this is an NPC bot, either a human bot or like a manufactured bot, but they're bots. These people are completely emotional, completely retarded. And look, we've got beautiful things like Lake Geneva, and so basically I wanted to do this video. Haven't felt like doing a video for a long time, because frankly, there's nothing to fucking talk about. Everything is exactly how it should be. BlackRock, Wall Street is going to bore you out of your Bitcoin. I told you that 2 years ago in a video. They're going to reduce the dopamine so much, you're going to get bored. You're going to say, I want to get into NVIDIA, I want to get into this, that, and the other. You're going to sell your Bitcoin, and then Bitcoin's going to skyrocket. That's exactly what happens every single time. I have no faith in retail. Just like my faith in democracy has been sliding, I have no faith in retail. Retail always get it wrong. And they'll come in just before a blow-off top and then complain about it for, 2 years. And then a small portion of that retail will turn into hodlers, and they'll understand exactly what the fuck's going on here. And the rest of them just basically won't. And they'll fade into the darkness where they belong. So that's the sad reality of the situation, but it's hard to have faith when you've just got sissies losing their fucking minds at a 22% dip when you're supposed to be a Bitcoiner. Now, I'm going to go and have a coffee because it's cold as fuck. But, subscribe to the channel. Remember, whether you're in Dubai, whether you're in London, whether you're in Lake Geneva, there's always only 3 rules to Bitcoin. And I can't shout because there's kids over here. Fuck they're doing up at this early in the morning, I have no idea. But there's always only 3 rules to Bitcoin. Step number 1, you buy Bitcoin. Step number 2, shut the fuck up. And step number 3, you get fabulously wealthy. Enjoy.